Hello. What are you looking at? Hi, Jeep. How you doing? Apart from having to endure minute-long Twitch ads. Hi. Oh, by the way, I worked out actually how much I get for ads per stream. It's about 5 cents. So that's really worth annoying my friends, isn't it? For 5 cents. Get ad block. Whitelist my channel. How you doing? Yeah. And that's not 5 cents per ad view. That's in total. Not for an entire minute of one ad, for an entire minute of everybody watching that ad. Yeah. That ad itself, probably less than a cent. Hurrah! Hurrah for the old style of internet advertising that will probably soon die out. God damn it, Diablo! I wouldn't mind, but everybody who wants to play the new Diablo's probably already bought it. Hi. Let's put music on. Forest music. We're going there soon. Hey then, Jeep. You having a good day? Yeah, they're certainly not going to see Twitch out and go, oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand advertising. 95% of it's useless. And it's whether it's useless or useful, it's just as annoying. So, is it worth it? Hi, Bear. Still fighting clouds. To lay off the beans. You're good. Nice. How's the bear? Let's hop on over to our doodle skin. There's a ragdoll. Hello. The other side of internet ads was pop-ups get worms onto your computer, which is why adblock exists. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. What I meant was the old style of ad revenue, where like websites could pay for themselves with advertising. I don't think that's gonna last. But hey, I'm terrible at predicting tech things. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a new renaissance for it. You're content and feeling lucky. Oh. There is a point later in the Drawthrough where you can get your fortune told and see whether you're lucky, what your lucky colour is. I don't know what relevance that has, but it's not too far away, so... Music's a bit loud. Is that better? Maybe? We'll try and sort out volumes as we go. Yeah. Cool. We're back in the Final Fantasy IX Drawthrough, Part 3. Hurrah! We're surviving so far. then again, we still have 98% of a JRPG to get through. So, what's happened so far? Very quick rundown. We began at sea, a couple of people in a stormy sea on a makeshift raft, not having the best of times. We zoom in on the face of a little child, and then we wake up the princess in a castle, who looks out of a window and sees a theatre ship approaching. As we now know to be a theatre ship inside, we have a colourful array of characters, including Simeon, Alexander the First March, Bananamin. They get accosted by their boss, Captain Durgan Porkus, of course, and they explain why they're there, which is to put on a play for the Queen and a bunch of nobles. But what they're actually doing while the play's happening is that they plan to kidnap Princess Zorlorla from the clutches of Queen Helga. We haven't heard anything about Queen Helga. She's just enjoying a play at the moment. Meanwhile, in the city that they've arrived in, Alexandria, we have a character called Vivi, who's having a no good bad day. But after a lot of stuff happened, with the help of a small rat friend, they managed to get in to see the play, even though their ticket was counterfeit. And they were very sad about that. They deserve to be happy. So they're watching the play while it's happening. So the play begins, a lot of stuff happening. It's very Shakespearean-esque. And two of the actors, Simeon and March, have a bit of a sword fight to impress everybody, and they go in amongst the crowds and have the sword fight, and everybody's very exciting. But that's all just a distraction for them to manage to get into the castle so that they can kidnap the princess. While this is all happening, the Queen is having an absolutely whale of a time. She's enjoying this immensely. However, the princess not having such a good time. And this guy over here, not happy about that. He wants the princess to be happy. Inside, we see our characters of Simeon and March stealing soldiers' uniforms from a couple of soldiers as a disguise. I say a disguise because I need to emphasize disguise, because Simeon doesn't actually bother putting the helmet on. He's the main character, you know. He's got a look to uphold. You're not gonna see him, you know, for the next 60 hours. So yes, a disguise. Also, we're actually privy to the plot of the plot, which is that in March's, I'm guessing, trousers. I'm not sure exactly how that works, because prior to this he wasn't wearing any. He has hidden a whole bunch of oglops, which are these little cute little bouncing insect things, and a lot of people get freaked out by them. So the plan is to release a bunch of those, and then in the ensuing confusion, kidnap the princess and run. That's the plan. Immediately, they come up to a little bit of a roadblock, which is that they just stumble upon that. Too much of a roadblock. Calm down. Shh. Yeah, they find a woman running in a corridor, and Simeon's slut instincts kick right in and just immediately starts flirting with who it is. And who it turns out to be is the princess, Zerolololida, in disguise. What's she doing? She's running, whatever she's doing. Meanwhile, people have realised that the princess is missing. Those people in particular being Frick and Frack, the two court jesters who like to finish each other's sentences. And they inform James Will some guy, as we apparently named him, that the princess is missing, or that they have an important message for the queen, at least. And he's like, right, the queen's busy, leave her alone. And so they instead go to General Jesse, who goes, okay, I'll tell the queen. The queen's very interested in this, and so sends Jesse and James out to find the princess, wherever she may be. Yeah, she's also in disguise, so they're truly meant to be. Hi, Kira, how you doing? We have a very competent team of main characters. It's fine. So they're all sent out, and this includes James, who is going to assemble his Knights of Pluto. So he calls them all to assembly, and the only two who actually show up are the ones who've just had their clothes stolen. Who were Sock and Tibbins? Tibbles? Something like that. How you doing, Kira? You alright? Having a good morning or whatever? The most competent, exactly. We are then introduced to the 8 Knights of Pluto, who are Sock, Nibbins, there we go. Nibbins, yeah, see, you guys remember, I don't. Sock and Nibbins, who are the town gossips. We have Cannonball Clark, who won the cannonball race, which is literally just running with cannonballs. Colonel Mustard, who's an artilleryman, and is very hungry. Beatrix, who is an aspiring author who wants to take time off work in the nights to work on his novel, but it's not allowed because the princess has been missing. We have Quaxley, who is a very calm, placid person, likes to sit by the canals and see the ducks, and as soon as he's told that something's gone wrong, he runs away and starts screaming. Has a bit of an issue with temperament. How's a miss? Is a miss good? We also have Bin, who knows all the ladies and has tried chatting all of them up, and they've all said no. And Rocky, who's enjoying a bit of exercise in a tower. And that's them. Hurrah. We will not see them again for another 12 weeks. After some shenanigans involving flying on bits of bunting and crashing into walls. And meeting Bernadette, who doesn't look anything like that, but that's what she looks like in the play, I guess. All the good lads. Yeah. I'm still laughing over Beatrix. At some point, a character had to be named something that there is already a character in the game called that. There's a sentence there, you just got to rearrange it, Duolingo style. 1 second. Lights are on, and the music has stopped, we can calm down. Maybe, I don't know what's next. Introduction music. Also, have you ever said you hate Poison Ivy, Oak Sumac? Because, yeah, you hate it. No, you haven't, actually. You've never once mentioned that. How strange. I wonder where that came from. Yes, so bursting into Bernadette, who is the lead actress in the play, bursting into her dressing room and making their way through. Once we're inside, on the theatre ship, the princess confides, hey, do you mind doing me a favour and kidnapping me? At which point, Simeon goes, sure, we can do that. Fine. Why not? The guards start bursting in, and Alexander tells us that there's a way out. There's a secret hatch in the other room, and they jump through down into the engine room. And James. Bloody hell. Sir James the Rusty, barges in with the Knight of Pluto and goes, get in there, and the Knight of Pluto jumps in and just gets stuck in the thing. Oh no, they've got away, I've got stuck. Turns out it's March in disguise. He's still in disguise, the only person who actually managed to get the disguise working. James, nicknamed Will. Or is it Will nicknamed James? Some guy. March is the only competent person around, yes. That's a good thing to bear in mind. However, they are intercepted as they run through the underbelly of the stage area. They're intercepted by James. And a fight ensues, and you get a little fight between this lot. Now, and this is where we continue. A few things happen. The fight happens. But also some other stuff. And while I'm drawing that other stuff, are we all having a good day? Recap over. We can chat now. Gotta remember how to draw quickly. Also, it'd be nice to be able to draw in a way that you can actually see, because it's quite light, isn't it? There we go, it's a bit stronger. Then I force myself to... Mustn't have been comfortable wearing this many belts underneath a suit of armor, but there we go. Suits of armor already have enough belts. Had a little migraine last night. Still have a bit of a headache now, but thankfully it's not as bad. Oh no. Don't know why I'm drawing him in this pose. Hang on, I've got a better idea. The way I'm drawing the hair is a bit wacka-ish. We're not there yet. Have the gradient I have with these Drawthroughs. Thanks. I just did a... That's the gradient if you want to mess around with it. Just threw some colours together till they look nice. Vaguely reminiscent of the game in some fashion. This game doesn't really have a sort of coherent sort of colour scheme about it in any particular way or place. So I just had to make do. I did mention actually the reason the background's blue is because I got a texture from the menus in the game, which I remembered. And I tried to use that as the background, but it's way too dark. So I just ended up making it quite pale. And as a consequence, you can't really tell that it was a texture from the game. So it was all a bit of a waste of time, but I tried. the important thing. Of the squad. I thought I'd go for a squat. Thought you'd appreciate it. What a problem. Save myself from bother. I'm here for a fast time, not for an accurate one. Always appreciate a good squat. Yeah. Got some mangoes cheap at the grocery store. Gonna try making a mango chicken dish. Ooh. Sounds interesting. Let me know how it goes. And then if it goes well, share the recipe. Right, so why is March not in disguise in this picture? Well, simple reason. In a fit of fury during their confrontation, James does a big old sword swing, big old slice, and literally slices the armor in half off of March. Just shatters it into pieces. Terrible armor. The Knights of Pluto, they don't have much budget. They're not the Alexandrian Guard. They get all the budget for armored leotards. Today I've learned that if you draw half a glove, it doesn't look like half a glove. It looks like some sort of weird alien. They need better gear. That or holy crap, where did James get that sword? Yeah. I wouldn't mind, but it's a crap sword. It's the weakest sword in the game. I guess, spoilers, this character joined your party at some point, don't worry about it. Yeah, so basically, yeah. Bits of armor start flying off. And what do you think the consequence of this is? Think back. While my poorly mixed Fandango music plays. They get cold? They walk around like this all the time. I don't think they can get cold. I'm imagining, given the fact that they're stitched together from various limbs, their nervous system probably doesn't work perfectly. Also, my windows are still open today, so apologies for any noise. So March's job in this mission, if you'll recall, was to act as the distraction by means of hiding a lot of insects in his armor, who are now all free. I can't remember how I drew them. Something like that. Oops, bugs everywhere. This is what the bugs look like. So yeah, basically lots and 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 lots of little bugs jump out and are very happily hopping around and bouncing, flopping and flipping and flopping, and this causes some people to freak out. Most of the opening scenes are straight out of a Three Stooges sketch. It's quite farcical. Ah, to be a brave knight of Pluto. It's not just him. This works out quite nicely. Yeah, the actual Muppet has an excuse. He's a Muppet. At least I assume so. In this world, there's probably characters made of felt. It's a little hoppy friends jumping around. Alexander's a Muppet. Why not? You've seen him? They're very bouncy. They go squidge. They go blip, blip, blop. Meanwhile, The only two people unfazed by this are like, should we just go? Should we leave them to it? Seems perfectly reasonable. I've forgotten what you're wearing. You're still wearing a guard uniform? Yes? No, he takes it off. No, he takes it off in the previous cutscene. He's not wearing it. He took it off while he was chasing, I think? Thinking about it? That's a weird plot hole. Because I don't think he has it in the cutscene where she like swings on the bunting, does she? So he must have taken it off while he was chasing. That's real weird. The things you only realise when you're doing a draw through. Right, gotta get used to drawing your normal clothes again now, I suppose. If I can remember what they are. Big cuff, remember that. Big cuff with no sleeve. Big belt, everyone has a big belt. And proportions are apparently a thing that exists. If the armor is made of costume foam, could have just ripped it. Yeah, fair. And this is the Knights of Pluto we're talking about. Low budget. Anyway, so yeah, they're just in the ensuing kerfuffle, as I guess was the point of these things. They leave. Unfortunately, there's not really many places to go because, you know, they're in the bowels of the ship, and this is all happening in this room. They can only get out from one door. So where do they go? Good question. Think you remember him throwing his helmet aside when he first spotted the princess and chased her? That, or he flat out never wore it and threw it aside while complaining about the armor? I think he threw it while complaining about the armor. I think he's like, I'm not wearing this. It'll mess up my hair. No. Meanwhile, there's a play going on. What about this undressed honk? Don't talk about March like that. I can't remember what Banana is wearing. Don't worry, the Gimp Hippos are still here. It's times like this that I remember that my windows are open. think he's wearing shorts. I'm going to say he's wearing shorts. So yes, the play is continuing full steam ahead, and the main character of Banana Min has been captured by the evil King Leo. Who I can't. How does it picks now, right? Fake flowing hair. So just as a recap of what the story of the play is, there is a princess who... Romeo and Juliet, basically. There's a princess who loves a commoner. That's not quite Romeo and Juliet, but unrequited love. The king is like, no, you will marry this prince from this faraway land who you've never met before because marriage arrangements. Which is like, no, I am my beloved Banana Min. King's like, yeah, never mind Banana Min. And at the beginning of the play, Banana Min stormed the castle in order to retrieve his princess. Now the king's like, I have captured you. At the stroke of midnight, the marriage will go ahead or something. I don't know. And there's nothing you can do. My daughter shall be married for the good of the kingdom. It's like, how dare you? Do you not know of this thing called love? But not really. I'm a character in a play. I'm here for one purpose, really. Mixture of Romeo and Juliet and King Lear. Yeah, it's a mixture of that, and then you take like a pipette, tiny little bit out of it, squidge it into a book, and then like slam the book shut, and that's what you got. We're not talking the opera scene from Final Fantasy VI here. This is not a fully fledged thing. It's like 10 lines of dialogue. And it's at this point, mid-dialogue, in universe is a whole story and play, but we only see a little bit. Exactly. This is just...
I'll need something to pry it out.
Ah. Unlike the opera. I mean, the opera is, I guess, in universe, a whole thing. And we see a lot of it.
The doorway is sealed by some mystical force.
Don't argue over the locked command. You see safe word and zippy. Yeah, they're here.
The door is frozen shut. It won't budge.
I will not have friends arguing over commands.
It's boarded shut. I'll need to find another way in.
I mean, to be fair, this is a draw-through, so...
Is that the door to the gardens?
Hey! Kiro's joining in. See? Kiro is the only one trusted enough to get, Patrick. You're jelly? Oh no. Is it hay fever related or? Oh, you're jealous. Oh, you're jelly jealous. Get it. Maybe about to die in RPGs for your courageous actions. Oh no. Best of luck, presumably, Bernard. We all want Patrick, yeah. He only visits those who are worthy. Anywho. So like mid-line of dialogue, these two rise up from the floor. Just like up from a little elevator. Because hey, guess what? This is the only place they could have gone. To run away. It's the only escape route. It was on stage. Look, Three Stooges. Go with it. Luckily for us, yeah, they were a little elevator that led up to the stage. They were underneath the stage while all of this was happening. Which is why they had the... Yeah, it's why pole thing. A lot of access stuff going on. Presumably that's to get people up and down behind set, and this is just on stage. So they're just working their way up. The only other escape was blocked, yeah. In pursuit... It's Willem Dafoe. Yeah, there are multiple little elevators, it turns out. And Will, / James, / some guy, follows them onto stage and is rather taken aback by where he's just come out. Because he's now on stage in front of several hundred nobles. And he's a bit like, ah. Yeah, he's just sort of standing there going, I don't know what to do. Luckily, well, not luckily, these guys are trained professionals. They are used to improvising around these sorts of things. But luckily, the princess, having spent a lot of time in a castle with a big library, is quite familiar with this play. So they just sort of improvise around it, and she pretends to be the princess and goes into the arms of Banana Min. It's like, oh, Banana Min, I've missed you, so on and so forth. And the king's like, absolute nonsense. You're not going to marry this commoner. For the good of the kingdom, you must marry Prince, whatever his name was. What was his name? Prince. I want to say Schneider. I'm not sure that's true. Something like that. It's German. Germany. Oh, by the way, this was something I forgot to mention. When I was looking up Farquaad, when I was looking up the Knights of Pluto to draw them for Cheap's Doodle, turns out all of the original names for the Knights of Pluto, they were named after German towns for some reason. It was Schneider. Oh, wow, blimey. So yeah, I'm now going to assume that there is a German village somewhere called Sock, and you can't convince me otherwise. No, it's fine. Anyway, the king goes, "No nonsense! You will marry Prince Schneider here," and then he wraps his arm around Will and goes, "Ah, the prince, the good prince here." He's like, "I'm a prince. What's going on?" "You will marry the princess." "Me? Marry the princess? Yes, you will." They're just sort of improvising around this idiot not knowing what's going on. Then we have a town called Cheese here. We've got a town called Twat. The famous German town of Cannonball Clark. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that best arrangement. That dream within a dream. What? I'm guessing because Kiro is happy that this is a reference. Yes, so all of this improvisation happens, and they manage to keep it going despite everything that's happening. Meanwhile, actually, what am I doing? Meanwhile, in the audience, there's a reference, nice. Your favorite films? What? I will never know. And I will never watch it. Oh no. So while this is all going on, there are some guards patrolling, looking for a princess, if you recall. Princess Bride. That's what's going on in the story of the thing. It's Princess Bride. Yes, so there are some, Okay, Cheeb, I'll give you a... Actually, no, there are... Well, no, yeah, I'll give you a choice. Cheeb, which two of the Knights of Pluto do you want to be involved in this scene? For I did a doodle of them, and I have them here. I don't know why I did that. I've got Discord open. I could just look at the picture. Like, I think Kiro mentioned which ones are involved last time, but I've forgotten. Doesn't matter that much. Quaxley?
Droom roll.
Droom roll? A droom roll, everybody. Oh, dear. That is one of them, Quaxley and Beatrix. Can do. This works, actually. That does for one of them, anyway. I've got to remember not to draw them in the sexy outfit. Not the sexy outfit. Why not? Because this is according to the story. I mean, I imagine, you know, Sock and Nibbins are probably wearing the sexy outfit because they don't have any outfits anymore, so they had to find what they could. And the game is Bin, but you like Beatrix more, so nice. Cool. Bin's chatting someone up, don't worry about it. Bin is accidentally chatting up Sock and Nibbins because they're wearing the sexy outfits. Anyway, they're patrolling for the princess now that, they've been all gathered together. Or, well, they haven't been gathered together, but they've been talked to along the way. And while they're patrolling... This is not how chests work. Speaking of patrolling... The thing about draw-throughs is that I often start a sentence and then actually finish it 5 minutes later, so... I should also specify that the Knights of Pluto in-game don't actually have any kind of differing appearance apart from sock and nibbins. Let's get back to RPGs! Wish GM bad luck. Go roll those 20s as you do so well, Doug. I do like in these streams we get a little sort of pit stop of Dark popping in and giving us news on how terribly the game's going. Anyway, for the 4th time, while they're patrolling, they happen to spot a couple of illegally entered audience members. Who are not supposed to be there. Use the correct tool for the job. EAMs? Yes. Legally entered audience members. People who came in without a valid ticket, sneaking round the back. Oh, how that's worked. Not quite to scale. So yeah, remember Vivi's in this story. As is Little Rat Kid. Well, Little Rat Kid's faster. Queek, what was their name? Queek Mark. I can't remember what he's wearing. Beatrix is not ready for this. Quaxley's going for it, but Beatrix is like, oh, hold up. Someone else who's not particularly ready for it is Vivi. Because as we have ascertained from earlier on in the story, Vivi is not the most sure-footed of characters. Having fallen over 3 times in the story so far. The third one wasn't their fault. They were walking on a piece of wood that fell into a street. But the first 2, they just tripped. Oh no, hang on. No, the first one was the rat boy bumping into him. Okay, they tripped once. But they've done a lot of falling. Don't let Quaxi catch you, no! So the rat boy, being very nimble and light of foot, leaves Vivi behind. I was like, bye! I'm out of here! And Vivi gets chased. Round and round and round. Meanwhile, back on stage. A lot of meanwhiles happening at the moment, but... which way round does this go? Yes. Let's just get the structure down and then worry about... details later. Because there's a lot of characters in these scenes. Loud brat. You do trip over your own feet and fall lots. Oh no! Not as many meanwhiles as the summary of Resident Evil 6 you watched, so it's all good. There's a lot of meanwhiles that happen in this game, because this game has a really cool system, which is that when characters... Basically, whenever something happens in the story, a little pop-up happens in the bottom corner that says, hey, do you want to see what's happening with this character elsewhere? So that you can just keep track of all the people doing all things in all places, and it's really cool. You get all these little vignettes of characters. I don't know why I'm... Well, no, he's probably wearing some sort of thing. Right, so back in the play, Banana Min, fictional Banana Min, has had quite enough of the king not listening to his daughter's wishes and trying to force marry her and all that sort of stuff, and so he takes out his sword and... Have at you, you foul fiend, and thrusts his sword at the king. However, this is a Shakespearean tragedy. So it can't be that simple. Fictional Banana Min, as opposed to non-fictional Banana Min, who is also fictional but not within the game. Fiction number 1. Fiction level 1. Fiction depth 1. That's probably the better way of thinking about it. What are you wearing? No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so what is happening with that hand? I thought it was a different hand. Let's sort that out. She was wearing like a t-shirt sort of thing. Probably some sort of strap. Everyone wears belts in this world. But in a fun fantasy way, not in a Lulu way. The video game character and the character he plays in the play have the same name in the game. So yeah, 2 Banana Mins here, exactly. Just think, if you had named the main character Banana Min, he might have been the main actor, and this whole thing would have been avoided. because it would have been March and this banana min who would have gone off and done the kidnapping. So yes, he thrusts his sword at the king to kill the man, but just before he can do that, the princess jumps in the way. By the way, she had the foresight to put a hood on, because otherwise everyone would recognize that it's actually the princess on stage. Le gasp! And they do the whole thing where like the sword goes between the arm and the body, which I love. But I've done this for some reason as a kind of bodyguard. So don't worry about it. I don't know why he's still wearing goggles during the play. I mean, who am I to judge somebody's bodily autonomy? That's a hand. Close enough for our purposes, anyway. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but the robes that she's wearing in this scene is a callback to Final Fantasy I, because these are the robes that are worn by white mages, as opposed to Vivi, who is the quintessential appearance of a black mage. There's a lot of references to the old games in this one. Little Easter egg. Anyway, so she gets stabbed, quote unquote. And I feel like I need to emphasize quote unquote, because you might possibly, if you're not, you know, really paying attention to what's going on here, think that she has actually been stabbed. Or if you don't know how stage fighting works, exactly. Now this works really well with the scene, because he's reacting very realistically, as indeed the Prince Schneider would. He doesn't realise that's what he's doing. But hey, wrong clocks and all that. Broken clocks or whatever it is. He's like on the floor going, no, the princess. Everyone around him's going, yes, yeah, the princess, she died, she got stabbed, oh no. Princess Cornelia or whatever she's called in the play. His music's come in slightly prematurely. Yeah, broken clocks. Sack the band. They're doing their best. I haven't drawn the band. In fact, in a bit, they're quite nice. But we have... Oh, there'll be spoilers for me to explain why. The audience are like, le gasp. Drama. Thrills, spills. I think at this point we get a cutaway to the Queen going, "Oh my god, the princess died. Where's that bloody princess? Haven't they found her yet? Oh, the princess died." She's being very silly. And then you have a touching, emotional scene of Banana Min and the princess on the floor and Prince Schneider. And Banana Min's going, "Why, princess? Why did you do that?" It's like, "It's still my father. I still love him. He may have antiquated views on marriage amongst royals, but this is still family, whatever." I don't know. Shakespeare. We needed a tragedy. But they can't say that in the play, can they? Queen Helga got a priority straight. And people are crowding around and so on and so forth. I don't have to draw that again. You all know how everybody's reacting to this particular situation. However, something else is also happening in this particular situation, which is a small, scared boy is being chased by some guards. And that small, scared boy gets chased onto the stage. He's the star of the show. It's a metaphor for the rest of the game. He's the actual protagonist. See, now the music should play, because this is Vivi's theme. Or it's my version anyway. And now it stops, obviously. So yeah, chased by guards, Vivi has no choice but to run up onto the stage, because there is a way from the audience to the stage. We already know this because the sword fight happened. A lot is telegraphed and planned out very well in this opening scene. And he hops over the corpse of the fake princess, who is actually the living body of the real princess. Keeping track of this? And he's like, "Stop! Stop! I will defend myself." And in self-defense, he conjures up a magic fireball. Whoosh! And the guards who are over here because I can't be bothered to draw their whole bodies. Small scared boy who knows magic. How do Muppets work? They're like, "Oh, bloody hell, wasn't expecting this." Vivi also wasn't expecting this. So not quite as prepared as he probably wanted to be, and knows exactly what's going on. So, unfortunately, fires the ball of fire directly onto the princess on the floor. Who is now on fire. She probably deserved it. She's just trying to get out. For whatever reason. I don't know, she might have illicit purposes. I don't know. We don't know at this point. She just wants to get kidnapped. Good job, Vivi. You did good. You demonstrated to everybody that you have mystical magical powers and that you don't know how to use them. He's trying. Right. At this point, you're on the floor. You're on fire. There's a natural thing to do, which is try not to be on fire anymore. And if you happen to be wearing a big old hood, first thing you're probably going to do is take that off, because it's on fire. Now, there is a slight problem with this plan, which is that you are now on stage in front of all of these nobles and the queen and guards, having just gone missing, and everyone's now looking at you. What do you do to dissuade the situation? Or diffuse the situation? Pretend you always wanted to be an actress? That would be reasonable. Hair going a bit Jessie-ish there. I don't really know what the hair of this character's doing. Which is good, because we'll never see this character again. One of the main characters in the game. The show must go on. It seems perfectly reasonable. You want to, you know, we have been proven to be in the company of some perfectly competent improvisers here. So surely there's a good way of getting out of this. Gotta learn how to try. I don't know, something like that. I mean, at some point I don't, right? At some point that's not important. She keeps in a low ponytail, okay. It's months away, don't worry about it. She's also wearing... I'm not entirely sure what this outfit is. Some sort of weird orange... onesie? I don't know. It's a strange outfit. Do they have cuffs? Everything has cuffs in this world, right? Cuffs and belts. Hey, welcome to Banana Man's Cuffs and Belts shop, where we got low prices on all cuffs and belts. They better be low prices, because bloody everybody buys them. Anyway. I now have a headcanon that Banana Min has a cuff and belt shop. Yeah, it's a weird thing, because it's got this sort of weird cutout thing going on in the chest area. I don't know. Not like a proper cutout, there's like a blouse underneath, but... Would you wear a blouse underneath like a leotard? I don't know, I don't understand these. Fantasy fashion. Good for Banana Men, yeah. It's good to have a side gig. Particularly if you're an actor. Orange jumpsuit onesie with a white blouse or something. It's just a weird thing, don't worry about it. Anyway, the actual response to this, rather than try and dissuade the crowd of any wrongdoing or strangeness, is for Porcus McGubbin. What was his name? Still in his fancy wig. Durgan Porcus. Pergan Dorcas. Dorcapurgus? There is a Dorcapurgus. Landerman could be one of their costumers. You wear a lot of hats and a small troop. Yeah. That makes sense. I think she has poofy sleeves. Oh yeah, it's got the big old like things there, and then they sort of go whoosh like that. Which honestly makes her look more like an actress. She definitely belongs in a troupe with a top like that. I mean, what I should have done when I couldn't remember what something looked like is we follow our rule. If I can't remember, make it silly. And I did say she was wearing a onesie, so could have gone with that. Clown outfit. It's a leotard / blouse / Moogle onesie. Moogles have ears, right? Anyway, yeah, the hood's off at the moment. Wearing a hood under a hood. How strange. So yeah, no, the actual solution to this problem is that Captain Durgan Porcus goes, right, cool. Let's take off. Bye! We got the princess, goodbye! So they start the engines. And they start flying away, and the crowd are like, what the hell is going on? Bear in mind that James, Beatrix, Quaxley, I remember their names eventually, got there. They're still on here, as is Vivi. They're still on the stage, this is on the ship. And it's just gonna take off. Now, the response to this, well, firstly, the response is that James goes, "What the hell's going on? I thought you were dead." But then when he gets his senses around, he's like, "Quaxley, Beatrix, help me fight them," and they have a quick fight. And it's a little fight. And I think in this fight you still get to use the special effects that you used in the fake fight earlier, because you're on stage and you can use special effects. It doesn't do anything, but you can. Which is kind of fun. But anyway, eventually people are like, what are we going to do? Because this is taking off. And one person that's like, what we're going to do is the Queen. Because she's like, hang on. That's my daughter. What's going on? I thought you were dead. Yeah. Look, he's having a time. So the Queen is like, this is not acceptable. Now, if you see that your daughter's gone missing and they're now being basically taken away on a ship, what would be your response? Because there are kind of two responses going on here. But she gets very angry. And she commands her soldiers do two things. One of which makes sense, a bit. One of which is dubious. Also, she looks a bit like a Sontar on here. Don't worry about it. She holds up her little fan. Shouts orders. Because, let's do this in two parts. In the parapets above, the first thing that happens is that a series of cannons are fired. Now, you might be thinking, it was a little bit dangerous to be firing cannons at the theatre ship containing your daughter. But don't worry, it's not that bad, because these aren't firing cannonballs. I mean, it's still fairly bad because you are firing something at very high speed at the flying ship that your daughter's on. But she's not just straight up aiming to destroy the thing, right? The Boobama begins. She's just holding a sparkler. That's how you light a cannon. How do you hold things? He says, literally looking at a hand that's holding something in exactly the same way, or almost exactly the same way. Right, so the outcome of this is that as the ship tries to fly away, apparently a massive snowman is driving it. meant to be like. They are firing big ol' harpoons on chains because they have those ready for some reason. They're expecting this, I guess. So yeah, this makes it rather difficult for it to fly away. But obviously not just straight up kaboom blowing the thing up. That would be silly. However, one of these does land like a foot away from the princess. And just smashes into it. If she was slightly to the left, she just would have been completely impaled by one of these things. So it's quite dangerous, right? It's not outrageous in this world with airships being a common mode of transportation. Fair enough, yeah. There are a lot of airships going around. But nonetheless. So yeah, sensibly harpoon the thing, stop it flying away. However, it's powerful enough to tear through a lot of these harpoons and just start making its way. So instead, she decides to fire more cannons. Only this time, doesn't contain harpoons. It contains a bomb. When I say a bomb, I mean, a bomb. Who, at the risk of upping my own artistic ability, has a bit of miss energy going on here. He's just a little guy, at first. It's that one sticker. It's Dark's favourite emote in the Discord. Do we have it here? Probably not. Oh, I should have added it. It's the only time it would be useful. This one stream. We now get a small gimmick boss fight. The miss end is, yes, it is a miss. I'm learning how to miss. If you pardon the expression. Actually learning how to, artistically how to hit, but you know what I mean. In fact, actually, it's not in the container. I think it forms around it. It's a cool cutscene. It's a cool little cutscene where this friend comes in. Anyway, so, what happens? We are now treated to a fight. This fight is just with James. Because he's still, Princess, come back with me, this is not safe. I will save you from these ragamuffins. So you have a fight, I think, like... Who's involved? Oh, Vivi's involved. Vivi gets to take part in this fight. Because, Simeon's like, hey, good fireball. Do you want to use that for us? You got some power, kid. Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, Banana Min, Simeon, Zorololda, and Vivi are involved in this fight. And also James, of course, but he's on the opposing side. However, slight gimmick to this one. There's an inner portrait. It's Vivi, Slut, Banana Min, or March. Given the scene that just happened, it makes sense that it would be Banana Min, right? Because he was on stage being Banana Min. Anyway, behind him is our little friend. Who I will draw again instead of copying for some reason. Less Missy this time. I do really like the version of these enemies, because I should specify, Bomb is a recurring enemy. Oh yeah, Kira's here. So yes, the Bomb is a recurring enemy in the Final Fantasy franchise, alongside Tonberries and Malboros. Moogles, they're not enemies, but they're recurring. And they have a gimmick, and that gimmick is that when you attack them, or if you just leave them for too long, they will get bigger. And if you let them get bigger too many times, they explode. However, you can't attack this thing in this fight because James is in the way. And this thing is just behind him. It's going, I am behind you. And you are quite aware that this thing is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it explodes. However, at this point in the story, you're going to have a certain element of difficulty in convincing James of anything. Particularly if you say, look out behind you. There's a bomb. I'm going to do a case study. I'm going to look at this and then the previous one and work out what makes something missish. So yeah, you're attacking James. Well, he's attacking you. You don't have to attack him if you don't want to. Kill your weakest characters in one boom. Yeah, exactly. I can't lose this fight, if I recall, because he doesn't attack the princess. So, you could... Why would he? That's not what he's here for. James will not listen, so you keep saying to him, "There's a bomb behind you. Look behind you." And he's like, "I will not fall for such petty tricks. I'm not do you think I'm an imbecile?" Meanwhile, this thing's getting bigger. And bigger. And bigger. Until eventually, just by pure happenstance, he looks around. By that point, it's a bit late. It's a bit late to do anything about it at this point. How'd your explosions? Kablooey! Literally explodes. Everybody dies at the end. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Final Fantasy IX Drawthrough. It was a lot of fun, but you made a bad decision. You ended up calling one of the Knights of Pluto Beatrix, and that locked you into a bad ending. But otherwise, hope you enjoyed. Next time, we're going to be playing a fighting fantasy story called The Citadel of Chaos, Part 2. No, that's not what happens. What actually happens is that what's left of the ship manages just about to stay aloft. It does break a few roofs in Alexandria as it goes through, but it manages to stay aloft just enough with like one engine still intact. And it floats off on a generally downward trajectory, over across the horizon and beyond Alexandria. We have left the city. Actually, we haven't left the city because while this is happening, old Queenie not too happy about all this. Really does look like a got Silurian in there. It's not Silurian, isn't it? Sontaran. Also, did she have? Oh, she just got a clown nose. I don't know what's going on with that nose. I'm gonna go for the pig nose. And in frustration, she snaps her fan in two. Oh no, that was her favourite fan. She loved waving that around and hitting people with it. She then calls in. I don't know if this happens now or it happens in a little bit. I guess it happens now. Well, there's no reason for it not to happen now. She calls in the little jester boys. Fleck and span. What are they called? Frick and frack. There we are. See, you guys know. They have goblin ears. I assume they have goblin ears. They are slightly different. And these are differences that I generally forget. One of them's red, one of them's blue. One of them is themed around like hearts and diamonds, and the other one's themed around spades and clubs. Doesn't matter all that much. Anyway, she calls them in, she goes... I don't remember exactly what she says. Oh, hang on. My gradient is off. Oh no. Let's fix that. Behind the curtain. They are different, but they're the same. They finish each other's no, they don't finish each other's sentences, they repeat each other's sentences, but in a different order. Because they're like that. Anyway, she goes, right. It's time. We've got to get her back. Release the project. I can't remember exactly what she says. Something along those lines. There's a motorcycle outside, did you hear? Yeah, she says something along those lines. Basically, get her back. And they go, yes, we'll get her back. Get her back, we will. Alive or dead? Dead or alive? Like, no! Alive, idiots. Bring her back alive. It's like, yes, sure. That one. That one, sure, yes. Yeah, they repeat each other, but one of them speaks like Yoda. But that's basically a good summary of dead or alive. No, alive. You fools. So at the very least, the Queen does want her back alive. Alive or dead? No. Yeah, she makes allusions to releasing a thing that will help get her back. Or not release. Releasing's not the right word. But like activating a plan, basically. Releasing her. I'm just gonna let the hounds out. I don't know, but release the flying hounds. Sephiroth, yes. This is the unexpected return of Jesseroth. I said this game makes a lot of references to previous games. Turns out, same villain. Meanwhile, hang on, I have a brush for this, don't I? Now these have holes. What? I don't know why I'm doing this. Just felt like it. Meanwhile, in a forest. That's basically what that was for. What remains of an airship is heading on a perfectly safe course for a nice smooth landing. Kerblooey. And thus we are in environment number 2. Now, a few characters were thrown off the ship just before impact. Oh, just got a notification that SSS is playing the Liza P demo later tonight. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna try and avoid everything. I've heard good things, and that's enough for me to just want to play it when it comes out. There's definitely a crash landing. There was a big explosion. Luckily, much like the explosion from before, no one got killed by it. Spoilers. However, a bunch of people did get thrown off the ship as it was crash landing. These include, but are not limited to, Simeon, Vivi, Zorolda. Basically anyone who was on the front, which makes sense. I think it was just those 3, right? No, I think no. James was as well, right? They deserved it. Think so, yeah. Trying to remember what order things happen here. I'm not going to draw everything because this is mostly just people talking to each other in different locations. Vivi doesn't deserve anything bad ever. Yes. So do we just go out straight away? I think we do. As far as the story is concerned, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, cool. So, a bunch of people get thrown off the ship, including Simeon, Vivi, Princess Laura, and James. Vivi and the Dragoon Knight later on only ever deserve good things. Yes, agreed. James only ever deserves comedically bad things. Nothing serious. Just enough to be funny. Yeah, and so Simeon gets to where the ship has crash landed and finds Alexander the First, who's out there and is rescuing people. Exciting music. And he's sort of pulling people from the wreckage, and there's smoke and all that sort of stuff. And he's like, "Where is everyone?" And Alexander the First goes, "Well, most of our group are on the ship. However, the princess and the weird knight and that little magic kid, they got thrown off." And Simeon's like, "Great, I'm gonna find them." So he runs off into the forest. James deserves to live in a Looney Tunes cartoon, exactly. And what we discover... What order does this happen? I'm trying to remember. I guess it doesn't particularly matter precisely the order, just so long as the story is told. Right, so they run to the... Simeon runs into a clearing. Small clearing in the woods. We're in deep forest, like very, very thick vegetation. No light. It's just very dark. It is rather ominously referred to as the evil forest. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Oh, yeah, I know what's going on now. Yeah, sorry. I was trying to work out who was in this scene because there was a discrepancy between who I thought was in this scene and who's in the fight. But yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, actually. Because not everybody who's in the scene necessarily is in a decent situation to fight. There's a fight, by the way. So he runs into a clearing, and who does he find? He finds James. Let's do it like that. A lot happens in a brief amount of time here too. I can be a little more lackadaisical with what's happening here because it doesn't matter. We're not setting up basically half the characters of the game in this portion, so I can be a little more sort of. This part of the game should go faster than the first part, but we're now out of Alexandria, so we can sort of rest slightly easier. Well, we're not resting easy because we're in the evil forest. Still don't know how your helmet works, James. And a couple of important things happen here. Does look slightly like he's wearing a sandwich board. Anyway, while I'm drawing things, anyone got any fun plans for the week? Interesting stuff ahead? Staying cool. You're always cool there. What is... Meanwhile, I'm inventing new types of armor that do not conform to the human body. Yeah, whatever. Calling Dead for Father's Day, nice. See, Across the Spider-Verse this Friday. I hear it has good art. Recovery and hopefully sleeping through the worst of the headaches and poison ivy sumac stuff. Fingers crossed. All on your own, because you want to, which is honestly a big step for your anxiety. You can do it, Chief. I'm proud of you. Spider-Verse is exciting. Wouldn't say that if you knew me. No, I'm still fairly confident. Only in this. In general, I'm just no confidence at all. Yeah. Meanwhile, Vivi's hiding in a bush. I don't think he is actually, I think he's on the floor, but I thought I'd draw him hiding in a bush. Basically scared. But also speak from experience, seeing a movie all on your own is a pretty huge step if you have anxiety. Yee! You can do it, and I hope it's a fantastic time. Why are you not falling forwards, Mr. James? By all rights, you should be. I know how gravity works, vaguely. It's good in your experience. Nice. Love hiding in bushes. So what are they hiding from? Simple. The biggest set of lips you ever did see. Their feet. Sure. Smooch! Big step, and you're really excited for it. Also, first find of us was really good. You have high expectations. I hear, well, actually, I don't hear good things because all I've heard is that the art's really good. I've heard nothing about the story. But if people are that excited, the story must be at least passable. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me. You don't have to worry about that. They're perfectly capable of feeding themselves. Helped by having massive tentacles. Add Spider-Verse to the list if it isn't there already. We did add it recently, yes. Well, actually, I think we added, like, Punk Spider-Man, who's the thing. Are they in the original one or just this one? I don't know. But Spider-Verse in general is... Nope. You have the poofy sleeves. So the princess is alive and well. And by well, I mean standing on top of this monster. With her Moogle hoodie. Oh, to the movie, oh, to the listening, the watching list. I will add it to the watching list, why not? Left ear hurts right now. Potty, will you please chill out? It should be on the movie. I'll add it to the movie list afterwards. For some reason, we had the conversation about styles for October, and we added similar styles, Spider-Verse styles to it recently, so that was the list that came to mind. Oh, well, there goes the hoodie. So, yeah. We have encountered a creature of the forest. Who is capable of trapping things in its head. Onion? Question mark? Joe 90? These enemies are just so paranoid every time you play this. So what ensues is a fight wherein you have to attack the thing in order to try and free the princess. However, while this is happening, the thing is draining the princess's life, so you have to do it pretty quickly. Also, I just want to... The tentacles are much ganglier than that. Just wanted to properly get that across. These, what are these called? There's something, prison cage, mouth cage, I don't know what they're called. This is when you can accidentally attack party members. Because you can select the princess, but you can probably throw potions at her if you want. That means you can accidentally attack things. This is when we also discover something else. While this is happening, we need to save the princess. And this causes something rather unusual to happen. Now, I have no idea how this is going to work, so just bear with me. Because I don't actually know what it is I'm drawing. Annoyingly, I was having difficulty distinguishing between Simeon's hair and how I would probably draw Tidus's hair from Final Fantasy X. So, get a glimpse into the future, everybody. Tell me about the texture of the tentacles. Lumpy. I would imagine sort of octopusy, but not quite so, like... Yeah. So something happens here during the fight, or just before the fight. And it happens to Simeon. summon in a couple of daggers. He fights with daggers. Oh no, hang on. Sorry. Slightly wrong. Something like that. So, just before the fight, he's like, "Ah, princess! We will save you!" And James is like, "What are you doing, you bloody kidnapping, horrible thief person? You're not going to save the... I will save the princess." And he's like, "Screw you. I don't care what you say." And then the battle starts with the prison cage or whatever it's called. How to... And a big old pink light, pinky purpley light, surrounds our friend Simeon. And all of a sudden, this does happen, yeah. It's easy to forget that it happens, but it does happen. Putting Baron on again. Well, for this or for the tentacles? So yeah, our friend becomes glowing pink and purple monkey man. It was like all hairy and pink and purple for some reason. And now has like magical powers. Meanwhile, not horny, you're curious. It's Voltaire, isn't it? We talked about this. Once a philosopher, twice a pervert. Again, still no idea if that's actually Voltaire or if it's just Eric Idle. One of the two. So yeah, this all happens, and James looks over and goes, "Well, that's something." That just happened. Why are you a pink and purple monkey? And Simeon goes, "I don't know. We just gotta save the princess." And he's like, "Oh, I know. This is trance. I heard about this. If you're in a position of very intense emotion, your true powers can come out. These are your true powers, pink and purple monkey boy." Put this chat into emote only. I feel like I could probably just copy and paste this face here and use it quite a lot throughout the Drawthrough. Yeah, so this is essentially this game's limit system. So rather than if you get hit enough, you can do a special attack, which is in Final Fantasy VII or in Final Fantasy VIII. If you're low enough health, you could do a special attack. In this one, it's like over the course of battle, the more things happen. You build up a meter, and when that meter hits full, you can go into your trance form. which is a heightened state of emotion, and yeah, they get an extra or souped-up skill while in trance. Exactly. So Simeon's just gets a whole bunch of like new magic abilities. Depending on what thief abilities they can normally do, they can do like a really powerful attack in its place. Vivi gets the ability to cast 2 bits of magic in one go, and also gets a pointy hat, as Ragdoll points out. Haha, points. Honestly, I think James just gets stronger. I think he just gets really strong. So I'm gonna hit things real hard. I think he gets like a kind of night mask kind of thing going on. So everyone has a trance. But this is like the kind of story explanation as to where it comes from. The heightened emotion. And apparently rescuing the princess is, he's already flirted with her once. That's a lot of emotion, you know. A lot of stuff to process. Don't know why he's standing like this. Oh, that's cool. So much emotion, the emotion of sluttery, yes. Simeon's magical transformation powers is the power of slut. Which honestly fits. James and Vivi has a thing where they can combine skills. That will come up in the story next time. Which honestly I think is a really cool idea that is never really used beyond that. But we'll get to that. Should we stop here, or shall we? No, there's a good place to stop. So this happens, you do the fight, you attack the monster, blah, 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 blah. However, the monster hops up into the trees and runs away with the princess. Bad times. Meanwhile, these 3 gather together and they're like, that's a bugger, isn't it? And Vivi's like, I'm sorry, I didn't help, I was scared. And everyone's like, don't worry. You're right, kid, it's fine. And while they're discussing that, another one pops down. No, Vivi! Vivi has been captured. Save the child, and then you have basically exactly the same fight. But in this instance, rather than the princess just sort of being there, I'm just going to keep referring to her as the princess for 2 reasons. One, because there's a story thing that's going to happen, which means that it's better for me to just call her the princess. But 2, her name is Zorolda. Final Fantasy 9, Vivi's no good, very bad, awful day. Exactly. But yes, exactly. This is better because Vivi, turns out, if you are literally surrounded by the thing that's attacking you, you can't miss the fireball this time. So Vivi fights back from inside by casting fireballs. Because he's a good brave boy and I'm very proud of him. And that's enough to take this one down. Yes, you defeat this one. You're over here now. And James is like, bloody hell, magician here? Can cast fireballs out of nowhere? That's incredibly impressive. And Vivi's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, nonsense. You're a master of magic. I will call you Master Vivi. Vivi's like, okay. Acknowledge the BB, Master BB. Exactly. The master of the magical arts. James has a lot of respect for that. Unfortunately, while they're congratulating themselves about this thing, about them killing this thing. Whoops. There it is on the floor, dead. In its death throes, its tentacles open up. Careful, bear. And in doing so, they emit a suspicious cloud of gas. Now, being quick-witted and quick-footed, and quick-slutted, Simeon manages to stay out of the way of this mystery gas, but unfortunately, James and Vivi both get caught up in it. And they both fall asleep. They both do a little cough and then fall asleep. And this is my artistic vision of them falling asleep. Just having a little nap. There was just some sleeping gas, it's fine. There will be no lasting consequences from this whatsoever. Next time... yeah, you two did good, have a little nap. We'll ignore the efforts of Pink and Purple Monkey Boy. By the way, after the fight you stop being in trance. It's not a constant thing. In fact, it is so temporary that it's basically useless. But in the story, it's a thing. And it's a thing that's worth bearing in mind. For reasons. Not particularly satisfying reasons, but reasons. They're gonna have a sleep. Relationship between James and Vivi is very good. I like them. I like them as a little duo. Why would we acknowledge Monkey Boy? Good question. I mean, he is the character you control. But beyond that. So there we go. We're left on a cliffhanger. Poison gas, presumably. Or something like that. Knocked out James and Vivi. Master Vivi. Master BB Vivi. So, that doesn't rate anything. Think I care about that? Master Baby Vivi. It's kind of fun because, like, over here, I don't know if it's equivalent elsewhere, but here, if you want to give a title to a child, sort of Mr., Mrs., that sort of thing, you would use Master. Particularly for, or Miss maybe for young girls, Master for young boys, but... So it sort of works as a double here. I don't know if that translates anywhere else, but... Anywho. So it kind of works as a double meaning. It's like, oh, this is a little boy, but he's also a master magician. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's there. You know? Not sure? Yeah, it might not be a thing. But yeah, that was the draw through. We got out of the city. We finished the first part of the game. We're now in the forest. And I'm sure getting out will be no problem at all. No issues at all in the evil forest. I should point out, oh, there's the forest music. Yeah, I should point out that the stipulations I had for these draw-throughs was to draw every major plot point, every character, and every boss. Strictly speaking, we haven't fought a boss yet. All of the fights that we've done have been like one-off fights, but they're just story one-off fights. We have yet to actually get to a boss, so I didn't have to draw half of the things I've drawn. Things will start speeding up now, however. We will start actually getting through this plot. And good draw. Thank you for coming along with me. It was a good time. Next time, though, ooh, maybe our first wild area of the game will have a boss at the end of it. Maybe, perhaps, mayhaps, precise. Good draws, thank you. Speaking of good draws, I will be back tomorrow morning with a draw stream. Probably doing some more crow doodles. Yeah. I'm trying to work out how to get this. I'm still trying to work out precisely how this style is gonna work, because I'm not hugely satisfied with how it's coming out. I need to work out what to change. Croodles. It just looks like you've spelled the word crocodiles weirdly. What did you take out of that? Hey, Chib, what did you take out of the word crocodiles to get croodles? I see. Anyway. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow morning, and then after that, Saturday morning for some... Thank you. Saturday morning for some Muzak. And then Saturday evening for Solasta. But before then, tomorrow morning, unless I wake up and go, actually, I probably should just get on with work. So you never know. One way or the other, something's going to happen. But tomorrow evening, theoretically, there should be a chip stream with more talk of Borderlands in the super happy fun Japanese cowboy land. Tomodachi something. More Borderlands. Yee. So yeah, look forward to that. Hell yeah, I'm a Tomodachi. Hell yeah, I'm a Tomodachi. So yes, I'm gonna leave you all to your musings of an evening / afternoon / morning / twilight. Have a grand old time, everybody. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoyed, and we will return at the times previously specified. Please see Form 5A for more details. Have a grand old time, everybody. Look after yourselves in whatever way suits you. I'm gonna get a drink. Bye!